Hey everybody, it's Mr. Haskell, and I'm back with another thing you should know by being alive. And today I want to talk about the nullification crisis. I want to talk about what it was, why it happened, the key players like Andrew Jackson and Calhoun, and the impacts on states' rights and federal power. So, in the early 1800s, debates over states' rights versus federal power were heating up, and tariffs, which are taxes on imported goods, became a major point of conflict between northern and southern states. And so in 1828, Congress passed the Tariff of Abominations, raising tariffs to protect northern industries. Southerners, especially those in South Carolina, opposed it. They're like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is raising prices on imported goods. This is hurting Southern cotton planters who trade internationally. And they saw it as favoring the North while, at the South's expense. And so John C. Calhoun, the vice president of the United States under Andrew Jackson, argued for nullification. Basically, states had the right to declare federal laws unconstitutional, kind of like the Supreme Court's power of judicial review. And also, a state could nullify a federal law within its borders if it found that law unconstitutional. And Calhoun based this on the states' rights arguments from the Kentucky and Virginia resolutions of 1798. So, in 1832, Congress passes a new tariff with slightly lower rates, and South Carolina was like, nope, we're still unhappy. So South Carolina passed the Ordinance of Nullification in November of 1832, declared the tariffs of 1828 and 1832 null and void within the state of South Carolina. And then they threatened to secede if the federal government tried to collect tariffs by force. Well, President Andrew Jackson, he just happened to be a very strong supporter of federal authority, and he was not having this. So he issued a proclamation to the people of South Carolina declaring nullification unconstitutional. He threatened to use military force to enforce federal law if necessary. And he got Congress to pass the Force Bill in 1833, which allowed him to use the Army to collect tariffs. Now, Henry Clay, the great compromiser, stepped in to kind of, de-escalate this crisis. So in 1833, Congress passes the Compromise Tariff, which gradually reduced tariffs over the next decade. South Carolina was satisfied enough with the reduction that it repealed its ordinance of nullification, but to save face, it did nullify the Force Bill. Why does it matter? What's the point, right? So the nullification crisis effectively tested the balance between states' rights and federal power. It showed that states could not unilaterally nullify federal laws, and it did highlight growing sectional tensions between the North and the South. So, therefore, it's foreshadowing secession arguments that would eventually lead to the Civil War. It also revealed Jackson's commitment to preserving the Union, despite being a Southern slaveholder. So, kind of wrapping this up here. The nullification crisis showed the deep divides in America's, how it viewed, states' rights, federal power, economic policy, and this is paving the road toward future conflict. Hey, if you picked up anything new tonight, like, comment, follow, share for more things that you should know by being alive, because understanding the nullification crisis helps us see how debates over power and rights have shaped American history. Thanks for watching.